The alien commander sneered, baring his jagged teeth. If this is the best Earth has to offer, then we may as well conquer your planet blindfolded. His laughter rippled through the chamber, echoed by the guttural chuckles of his subordinates. Lieutenant Park, standing with arms crossed and a rifle slung over his shoulder, didn't blink. The smirk on his face, calm and collected, seemed out of place in the face of an enemy that had dismantled Earth's orbital defenses in a matter of hours. The Thians, a race of warriors from the farthest reaches of the Andromeda Galaxy, thrived on conquest. Their ships hovered in Earth's skies like silver leviathans, their might unmatched. And now, they were here to prove humanity's worthlessness. The alien commander's multifaceted eyes glinted as he gestured toward a shooting range hastily constructed inside the alien mothership. Human soldiers and Thian elites stood in neat rows. On the far end, 100 meters away, were 10 small, glowing spheres suspended in the air. These were Thian target drones, known for their agility and speed. Each soldier was handed a standard-issue Thian pulse rifle. "Your technology is primitive," the commander declared. "We will grant you the honor of testing our weapons. Perhaps you will entertain us before we decide to annihilate your cities." Corporal Anders stepped forward, his tall frame and confident stride betrayed only by the faintest twitch of his fingers. He glanced at the rifle, his lips quirking upward as he weighed it in his hands. "Nice craftsmanship," he said. "Bit heavy for my taste, though." "Heavy," one of the Thians growled. "Only an Earthling would complain about a weapon designed for precision and power." Park raised an eyebrow, signaling Anders to let it go. The corporal shrugged and took his position. The targets began to move erratically, zipping back and forth, up and down. They glowed brighter with each movement, teasing the shooters to take aim. Anders tracked one for a moment, exhaled slowly, and fired. The pulse beam missed by a good 2 feet, streaking harmlessly into the air. The Thians burst into laughter, their booming voices filling the chamber. Anders frowned and took another shot, then another. Each missed spectacularly. "Is this the might of Earth's warriors?" the commander sneered. "You cannot even hit a stationary planet with your missiles, and now you cannot hit a mere drone with one of our weapons." Anders stepped back, his face carefully neutral, and handed the rifle to the next soldier. One by one, the human contingent took their turns. Shots went wide, beams grazed the edges of the targets, and the Thians jeered louder with every failure. When Park stepped up, the room grew quieter. There was something about the lieutenant's relaxed stance that caught their attention. He gripped the rifle like it was an old friend, not a foreign piece of alien engineering. The targets moved even faster now, almost invisible blurs against the distant wall. He fired once. The beam streaked out and nicked the edge of a sphere, which blinked red and dropped to the floor. He fired again, missing the second target but grazing the third. The Thians chuckled, but there was a flicker of unease among them. "Acceptable," the commander said, his voice dripping with condescension. "For a species so under-evolved, it is remarkable you can see the drones at all." Park lowered the rifle and met the commander's gaze. "The thing is," he said, his tone as casual as if he were discussing the weather, "these aren't really our kind of targets." The commander's grin faltered. "Excuse me? Earth doesn't train its soldiers to hit spheres that bob around for fun," Park said. "We focus on different applications." The chamber went silent. A Thian officer barked, "Are you implying our drills are inadequate?" "No," Park said. "Just different. We prefer to think bigger." Anders, who had been leaning against the wall, chimed in. "A lot bigger." The commander straightened his imposing frame, looming over the humans. "Bigger targets? How quaint. Is this your excuse for failure? Enlighten us then, what do you consider a worthy target?" Park gestured toward the towering viewport at the far end of the chamber, where Earth hung like a fragile blue marble against the vast darkness of space. His eyes narrowed, his expression sharpening with a hint of challenge. You see that moon up there? The moon, the commander snorted. You would waste your limited technology aiming at a dead rock. Not waste, Park corrected. Repurpose? A low murmur spread among the Thyans. They were accustomed to arrogance, but there was something disconcerting about the human's calm. The commander tilted his head, his antenna twitching. This is your strategy? To target celestial bodies? How pedestrian. Park didn't answer. Instead, he exchanged a knowing glance with Anders, whose grin had grown wider. You wanted a demonstration, Park said. Give us a chance to show you what we're really aiming for. The commander barked an order, and a holographic interface materialized in the center of the room. Very well, he said. You will demonstrate. But I warn you, if this is some ploy to stall your inevitable defeat. It's not, Park interrupted. Just watch. The soldiers began to move, their confidence unnerving the alien spectators. They activated devices strapped to their wrists, summoning holographic panels that displayed streams of data. Thyan engineers watched curiously as the humans worked quickly, their fingers flying over the controls. The air in the chamber grew tense. What are they doing? One of the Thyans whispered. They're targeting something, another replied, his voice uncertain. The commander stepped forward, his eyes narrowing. Explain yourselves, Lieutenant Park. What is the meaning of this? Park glanced at the holographic projection, where a bright red marker had appeared on the lunar surface. You wanted to see us hit something, so we're going to hit something. For the first time, the commander's bravado wavered. He stared at the humans, their focus unyielding, and then at the projection. The moon, once the symbol of Earth's scientific achievements, now bore the mark of their audacity. The humans didn't fire, not yet. But the Thyans, for all their technological superiority, were beginning to realize that the true target had never been the glowing drones. It was something far more profound, something they had underestimated entirely.